Okay, so in last class we were discussing about VPN and we did a remote access VPN, right?
GG. Yes.
And today we will start with IKE V2. Okay, so we
Okay.
did site-to-site VPN, we did DM VPN, then we did any connect VPN. We did it with IKE V1. It
Yes.
was also with IKE V1, and here we used SSL protocol. Now we will do all of these VPN with the help of IKE V2. Okay.
Okay.
It is another version of IKE, Internet Key Exchange.
Okay.
Okay, so Internet Key Exchange has two versions, IKE V1. It is also called ISACAMP in routers. Okay, and IKE V2. So we have done IKE V1, and today let's start with IKE V2. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I will be come. Okay, so let's start with IKE V2. So in IKE V1, we have seen that there were two phases. Phase 1 and phase 2. Okay,
Yeah.
and here there is no phases, there are no phases. In phase 1 we used main mode,
Aggressive mode. Yes.
we used aggressive mode, right? Here in phase 2 we use quick mode, but there is nothing like these phases in IKE V2. And there is only difference of IKE V1 and V2. Their purposes are same. It is also negotiating your VPN connection. It is also negotiating your VPN tunnel between VPN peers. Okay. Now
Oh,
in IKE V2, IKE V2 also works on UDP 500 with a destination port of UDP 500. Okay, like ISACAMP or IKE V1. It has inbuilt capability or inbuilt support for NAT-T, NAT traversal, and
mm,
DPD. We don't need to enable them; they are enabled by default. Okay, dead peer detection. And in negotiation, only 4 packets will be exchanged. You can say 4 to 6 packets will be exchanged. Okay, between VPN peers. Clear? After that, it supports EAP, Extended Authentication Protocol. Okay, Extended Authentication Protocol. It is a protocol that is used for authentication. Okay, if you want to authenticate your VPN peer with the help of EAP protocol, then you can use it. It was not available in IKE V1. Clear?
okay.
And here the authentication is flexible. In IKE V2, authentication is flexible, or you can say unidirectional. What it means? In site-to-site VPN, when I configured site-to-site VPN, here I took a branch router 1, here I took another branch router 2. They were communicating over ISP. Okay, they were reachable via ISP. Now I wanted to create a tunnel between these VPN peers. So if you are using IKE V1, then you have to use authentication same on both sides. Like if you are using here pre-shared key authentication, then on this side also you have to use pre-shared key authentication. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you are using here RSA signature, it means a certificate based authentication. Then here also you will use RSA signature. You can do like this. From this side you are using pre-shared key, and from another VPN peer you are using certificate authentication. But in IKE V2 we can do this. That's why it is called authentication is unidirectional. One side can authenticate himself with the help of pre-shared key. Another side can authenticate himself with the help of certificates.
Okay.
Okay, it is called flexible authentication.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it is also called Flex VPN. Whenever you are using IKE V2 with any VPN deployment like site-to-site VPN, DM VPN, and any Connect VPN, it is called as Flex VPN because it supports flexible authentication. It is called flexible authentication of VPN peer. One side will authenticate himself with the help of pre-shared key, and another side will authenticate himself with the help of RSA signature. And if you want to use the same authentication method on both sides, then you can do it. Okay, you
Okay.
can do it. There is no problem. If you just want to use pre-shared key from both sides for authentication, you can use pre-shared key. If you want to use RSA certificates or signatures, then you can use RSA signatures from both sides. But it is a capability available in IKEv2 that it supports flexible authentication. It can authenticate one side VPN peer with pre-shared key and another side VPN peer with certificate authentication. So you are increasing the security in your VPN tunnel. Okay.
Okay.
Clear. So we will deploy it with the help of side-to-side VPN rather than using IKv1. Now I will use IKv2, and then we will move to DMVPN. At the end, we will do AnyConnect SSL VPN with IKv2. Okay. So let's start with side-to-side VPN. Now, if I talk about configuration, now in configuration, what will happen? Previously, we configured phase 1 and phase 2, right? In IKv1, we configured phase 1 and phase 2. Now there are no phases. So here we start configuration with proposal. First of all, you have to configure IKv2 proposal. Proposal contains all the supported policies, encryption, hashing algorithm, group number, authentication method for a VPN router. Okay. It contains all the supporting algorithm for VPN negotiation. Okay. VPN negotiation. Then you will create proposal. This router will send its proposal to R2, and R2 will send its proposal to R1 to match the parameters, to compare the parameters. If both routers are agree upon the same parameters, then they will exchange further parameters. Otherwise, your negotiation will be end. Okay.
Okay.
And then we will create an IKv2 policy. Okay, in policy, we call all the proposals in which we have defined our supported encryption and hashing algorithms. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in policy, we define proposal. Clear? Now for pre-shared key, if you are using pre-shared key authentication, then you have to configure pre-shared key, right? So for that, you will create IKv2 key ring. Here we create key ring to define pre-shared key of VPN authentication. Okay. VPN peer key of to define pre-shared key of VPN peer. Let's say you are configuring it on R1. So on R1, if you want to define pre-shared key, you will create IKv2 keyring, and then you will define the pre-shared key.
Okay.
After that, we configure IKv2 profile. IKv2 profile. In IKv2 profile, we define authentication method. In profile, we define local and remote authentication method. What will be the local method for authentication on this router, and what is the method of your VPN peer for authenticating himself in VPN tunnel? Okay. And what will you define if we are using pre-shared key? If we use pre-shared key, then call pre-shared key in profile. You have to call pre-shared key in profile. Okay. After that, you will configure transform set. The configuration will be increased in this VPN. Then we configure IKv2 transform set. And you know that transform set, what it will contain? It will contain the encryption and hashing algorithm that is being used to encrypt the user traffic, okay, to secure the user traffic. Encryption, hashing algorithm, which will be used to secure user traffic, okay. The next thing you will do, you will configure an IP access list for interesting traffic of VPN tunnel, okay.
Okay. Right.
IP access list for interesting traffic of VPN tunnel. Now we have configured interesting traffic for VPN tunnel. Next thing you will do, you have to configure a crypto map, right? If you want to apply this configuration on interface, then you have to configure a crypto map. But crypto map requirement is, what is the requirement for crypto map? Crypto map needs an access list, valid access list, and peer IP address, right?
Yes. Yes.
Crypto map needs valid access list and peer IP address. So you have to define a crypto map in which you will call this access list for VPN traffic. You will call VPN peer IP address. You will call transform set, how to encrypt and decrypt the packet. And at the end, you will call your IKEv2 profile in the crypto map. Okay. And then you will apply the crypto map on the physical interface, which is facing the ISP.
Okay.
The
Okay.
next part is create crypto map. To define peer IP, ACL, transform set, and you can say IKEv2 profile, because it contains the authentication method, whether it is pre-shared key authentication or certificate based authentication. At the end, apply the crypto map on the interface which is facing the IP, or which is facing the ISP. On interface which is facing the ISP, and your configuration will be done. Okay, clear?
Yes.
So these are the steps that we have to take to configure IKEv2, or you can say site-to-site VPN with IKEv2. Okay, it is only for site-to-site VPN. In DM VPN, we will configure something different. Okay,
Okay.
clear? Now let's move to configuration. Till now, everything is clear.
Yes. Atin, go back to the main page. Just a minute. Can you just repeat the 1, 2, and 3 points? The first, second, and the third one.
Which one? In this? Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah. The first one, second one, and the third one again, please.
Okay, no problem. Here, see, in IKEv1, we created a policy in which we defined all the encryption algorithm, all the hashing algorithm, all the group numbers, right? But here we are not creating policy directly, because you cannot use a policy directly. Here we are creating a policy, but in this policy you have to call this proposal.
Proposal. Okay.
Yes.
What is this proposal?
In this proposal, it will contain all the supporting algorithms for encryption and hashing. It is like a policy of IKEv1.
Okay. Okay. Proposal.
But here you cannot define all the encryption and hashing algorithm directly in the policy. You have to create a proposal, and then you will call this proposal in policy.
Okay.
Okay. After that, if you are using pre-shared key authentication, PSK, pre-shared key authentication, then you have to define pre-shared key. To define a pre-shared key, we have to create IKEv2 key ring. In key ring, we define pre-shared key. Yes.
Okay. And IKV2 profile, what is that?
In
IKV2.
IKEv2 profile, we define local and remote authentication method because I told you it is having the flexible authentication, right? So you can define one side will authenticate with pre-shared key and another side will authenticate with RSA signature.
If all use pre-shared key, then we call PS key in the profile. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
if we are using pre-shared key, then we have to call this pre-shared key in IKEv2 profile.
Okay. Now it's clear now. I think we can
Okay.
jump
If you are
in.
using certificate based authentication, then also you have to call the trust point in the IKEv2 profile. I will configure both of the variations. Okay. First of all, we will do a classic site to site VPN over IKEv2 with the help of pre-shared key authentication. And then we will do one side pre-shared key authentication and another side certificate based authentication.
Now, I think my question is, when there is IKV1 already there, what is the purpose? What is the advantage of IKV2? We know
See,
there is one
yes,
advantage is that we can have different, we can have pre-shared as well as signature-based
yes.
authentication.
It supports flexible authentication. It supports extended authentication protocol for VPN peer authentication. It will help you to minimize the negotiation phase. Okay, only 4 packets will be exchanged. Your VPN will be converged very soon
Okay, so
in less than the time of IKV1.
it is faster than
Yes, it's
IKV.
faster than IKV1. Yes, and
Okay.
another thing that it also supports, I did not mention this, it also supports suite B encryption algorithm that were not supported in IKV1.
What is this? Is also support?
Yes, suite B
And what is this should be encryption?
algorithm.
Encryption algorithm.
They are different. In suite A, we use AES, 3DES, DES, right? We use Diffie element, DH, we use SHA, we use MD5 as well. So these are all suite A encryption algorithm. Okay. If I talk about suite B encryption and hashing algorithm, they are different. AES, GCM. This is suite B encryption algorithm. Okay. AES, not AES, sorry. EC, DH. It is suite B Diffie-Hellman algorithm, elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman algorithm. EC, DSA, like we use RSA in IKEv1. It is a suite A kind of encryption or authentication algorithm. Okay, but here it is ECDSA, elliptic curve digital signature algorithm. Okay, so these are suite B algorithm, and these all encryption and hashing algorithm are supported by IKEv2. They will enhance your security. AES GCM can encrypt the packet and it can also calculate the hash for the packet at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? That's why it is better than IKE V1. Because see, if I talk about only AES 192, AES 128, or AES 512, these algorithms cannot perform hashing. These algorithms can only encrypt the traffic, right? These algorithms can only decrypt the traffic, but they cannot calculate the hash of the packet. But AES GCM is the algorithm which will be able to calculate the hash of the packet at the same time. It will do the encryption, but it will also perform hashing. Okay.
Okay.
So these are some very few differences are there. The negotiation part is very less than IKEv1. Okay.
So what we are using in the production environment at the moment, let's suppose if there is a bank, if we use the IKV1 nowadays or what? V2.
See, it's up to the deployment. If you are deploying, like if you need EAP authentication, you are going to use suite B encryption algorithm, then you will absolutely go with IKv2. If you are deploying a normal classic VPN, site-to-site VPN, then you can use IKv1. Many of the network engineers use IKv1 in the industry.
Okay.
Okay, IKv2 is not most widely used algorithm, really, protocol.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is my connected network 20.110/24 subnet. Okay, and this is my public IP address on R2 102.1.0/24 subnet. This is public IP subnet on R1 101.1.0/24 subnet, and this is the LAN network of R1 behind R1. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's configure ISP router. Hostname ISP. Configure the physical interfaces. Interface is 0 by 0, no shutdown, and IP address will be 101.1.10. Interface is 0 by 1, no shutdown. IP address will be 102.1.10. Let's move to R1. Hostname R1. Interface is 0 by 0, no shutdown. IP address 101.1.1. And here I will create a loopback to define my internal subnets or internal network. And I will give a default route towards ISP so that we can be reachable to our VPN peer R2. Let's go to R2. Hostname R2. Interface E0 by 0, no shutdown. It is connected with ISP. 102.1.1 will be the IP address. Interface loopback 1. It is the network behind R2, or you can say internal LAN of R2. And a default route towards ISP. Okay, 102.1.10. Now if you will try to reach from R1 to R2, then they are reachable. So to configure any VPN, the prerequisite is your VPN peer must be reachable to each other, right?
Yes.
Now we can configure VPN. So crypto IKEv2 proposal. Okay, let's say I am giving a name admin, or you can say any unique name you can take. You can take my pro, okay, or my proposal. You can take any name, and then here you will define encryption, AES. AES, put the question mark. Here you are getting it CBC, cipher blockchaining CBC 192, CBC 256. But GCM is also included here. It was not available in IKE v1. So here I will not use GCM, I will use CBC. Later we will use GCM. Okay. If you will use GCM, you don't need to define any hashing algorithm for integrity. But for now, we have to define SHA. You can define multiple variants of these algorithms like 256. This is also SUIT-B hashing algorithm. SHA 384 and 512. These are SUIT-B hashing algorithms.
Wait. I think go back from the crypto IKQ. This is the first statement.
Yes.
IKQ proposal, my proposal. Okay.
My pro, and here I have defined encryption algorithm is AES CBC 192, and I am going to define hashing algorithm for integrity. It is SHA-256,
But
or
Atin,
whatever you want to use, like SHA-256 or whatever.
so Atin, what is the difference? Like in crypto ISACM, when we do it, crypto ISACM, we define group authentication. You are doing on the phase one as well. So there is no difference.
Yes, there is difference. Let me show you. Crypto ISACM policy 10. Okay, this is for phase 1. But here if you will see encryption algorithm, then you don't have any AES GCM. Okay, if you will say hash, then We have here SHA-256, SHA-384. These are available, but there is no AES GCM available in, you can say, IKE V1 or ISACAM. Okay. And there is no phased configuration. I did not tell you that I am configuring this proposal in phase 1 and this transform set in phase 2, because there is no phased configuration or phased negotiation of VPN. Okay, there are no phases. They only developed the protocol, they only modified the protocol IKE V1 to support suite B encryption algorithm, to support E protocol, to decrease the packets in negotiation. Okay, that's why all the purposes are same. Your both of the protocols are being used for same purpose. Okay, so crypto IKE V2 proposal admin, here integrity SHA-256 and group, let's say 2. Here we don't define authentication method. Do show run section crypto IKE V2. Okay, we don't define any. Okay, I created this admin as well, so let me delete it. We don't need this. Okay, and here I defined Diffie Hellman group, I think. Okay, group 2. Okay, do show run crypto IKE V2. Okay, section 5 section. On ASA it works like this, right? So crypto IKE V2 proposal is ready, but here we did not define any authentication method. We will define authentication method in IKE V2 profile. Okay. Now let's create policy crypto IKE V2 policy and give a priority number. Okay, or you can say give the name, because here no number is calculated. You don't need to define any number here or here. It is word. If you will take 10, then it will also take it as word, not as a number. Okay, clear? But in ISACAM, when we define policy, we define a priority number, right?
Yes.
So here I am giving it my policy. This is the name. And here you have to call proposal. It is saying policy must have at least one complete proposal attached. Okay. And you can define your proposal with the name my pro. Okay. Now we are going to use pre-shared key authentication, right? So we have to configure a pre-shared key. Crypto IKE V2 keyring and give a name of this keyring. Let's say I am giving it my key. Now here you can have multiple VPN peers, right? You can have multiple VPN peers. Like for R1, there can be a VPN peer, R2, R3, R4, R5. So if you want to define only one keyring for every VPN peer, you can call here, you have to call here peer. Without calling peer, you cannot define pre-shared key. You have to define for which peer you want to use this pre-shared key. Peer R2 and address is 102.1.1, and for this address I want to use pre-shared key Cisco. Exit. Any doubt till now?
Okay, okay.
Okay, so here I have defined this pre-shared key. Don't see this. Okay. So crypto IKE V2 proposal, crypto IKE V2 policy, after that crypto IKE V2 keyring to define pre-shared key. Now we will configure crypto IKE V2 profile and give a name like IKE Pro. First of all, here you have to define a local and a remote authentication method and a match identity or match certificate or match any statement. It means when your VPN peer will perform authentication, what criteria you want to use to match with VPN peer? We want to use to match this IP address, right? What I want to do on R1, when R2 will send me any VPN request, I will check his IP address and I will check his pre-shared key. That's what we want to do, right? So here we have to run one command, match identity remote. After that, you have multiple options. You can use address, you can use any of them. You can use email ID, okay, email string, you can use FQDN, or you can use key ID. But we are going to use address for now. When I will use, you can say certificates, then I will change it. Okay. So here address and define the IP address of your VPN peer. Then authentication local. These are the authentication method, and EAP is extended authentication protocol. It is introduced here, but it was not available in IKE v1. ECDSA is included here, but it was not available in IKE v1. In IKE v1, we were having only these two options, pre-shared and RSA signature, right? So here we will use not RSA signature. For now, we are using pre-shared. Authentication, remote, pre-share. Okay, for both I am using pre-shared key authentication. In the next practical we will do
signature.
Yes, in next practical we will do one side pre-shared key authentication and another side will authenticate himself with certificates.
Exactly. Okay, fine.
Okay, now you have to call your keyring as well here. I told you that you have to call keyring, and you created keyring local in local database because we are not using any AAA based keyring. Okay, so local, and what was the name? My key. Okay, after that you will create transform set, tset esp aes, and what values we have taken, esp aes cbc. Where is 192? Yes, 192 esp sha 256 hmat. Okay, and then define interesting traffic access list. We can give a name VPN ACL permit IP. What will be the source? 10110. And what will be the destination? 2110. So this is our VPN traffic. When the source is 10110 subnet and the destination belongs to 2110 subnet, then encrypt the traffic, then match the traffic for VPN tunnel. Okay. At the end, we will create a crypto map with the name. You can take any name like my map. Then you will define sequence number. Then you will use IPsec ISACAM. Okay. Set peer 102.1.1. Set transform set tset match address VPN ACL, and set IKE v2 profile IKE pro. Okay, so we configured crypto map in our IKE v1 as well, right? So we defined peer IP address to define who will send me the VPN request on this crypto map. Then transform set, it will tell that how to encrypt and decrypt the packet. Okay, because it contains all the encryption algorithms and hashing algorithms that are being used to secure the user traffic. And then here we have defined this is the interesting traffic for VPN tunnel. So let's match this access list and start encrypting the traffic. Okay, and this is the IKE v2 profile where you have defined both authentication methods with the pre-shared key and identity. Whatever identity we are using here, we are using IP address of the VPN peer as the identity of VPN peer. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Now let's go to R2 and configure it. Crypto IKE v2 proposal. Give it a name. You can give any name. Integrity SHA 256. Encryption AES CVC 192. These algorithms must be same, right? Group 2. Then crypto IKE v2 policy. Give a name or number, whatever you want to give. It is a number. It is not a number. It is a name only. Okay. And then here you will define proposal, and proposal name is admin. After that, crypto IKE v2 keyring. You can give any name like my key. After that, you will define peer. For which peer you are going to create this key or pre-shared key. For peer R1, and R1 will be identified with this IP address 101.1.1, and I will use this pre-shared key for VPN authentication. It must be same on both of the routers.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. After that, you will create IKE v2 profile. IKE Pro, or you can take any other name. Then you will define match identity remote address. We are using address 101.1.1. This is the address of R1 that I will check when I will receive any VPN request. Okay. Authentication local pre-shared authentication, remote, pre-shared. After that, keyring local. What is the name? My key. Exit. Okay. Now crypto IPsec transform set. TSET, ESP, AES, ESP, SHA, HVAC. Okay, not ESP, AES. We have to use the same crypto map that we have defined on R1. So let's check it. Right? It should not be different. These hashing and encryption algorithm should not be different. So go to R2, crypto, IPsec, transform set, TSET, ESP, AES 192, ESP, SHA 256, HMAP. And then IP, access list, extended, VPN ACL, permit IP. What will be the source from R2? 20.110 and the destination will be 10.110 because your access list should be the mirror image of the first router where you have configured it. Okay.
Okay.
Like if you have configured it on R1, like you have defined the source IP address 10.110 or subnet, source subnet is 10.110 and destination subnet is 20.110. So from the other end, 20 will be the source and 10.110 will be the destination. It should be a mirror image. Okay. After that, you will create a crypto map. With the name, you can take any name, my map, and the sequence number, IPsec, ISACAM. These are all these things are clear, right? You don't have any doubt in this thing.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Set peer IP address is 101.1.1. Set transform set tset. Match address VPN ACL and set IKEv2 profile IKE pro. And then exit it. Interface E0 by 0. Crypto map my map. Okay, so your ISACAM is on this router as well. I think I have applied. No. Okay, so let's apply your crypto map on the physical interface. Okay, interface E0 by 0, crypto map my map. This is the interface which is facing ISP on R1 and R2 E0 by 0. So I applied both of the crypto maps separately on each router on E0 by 0 interface. Clear?
Okay.
Now we can initiate the traffic. Do ping 20.1.1 source loopback 1 and let's enable the capture. So capture is running. Now let's ping it. These are 4 packets exchanged and your traffic is started encrypting, right?
Yes.
So we are only having these 4 packets. The first packet is IKE-SA init. Another packet IKE-SA init respond. Okay,